Imagine waking up one day to find your savings are gone, your job no longer exists, and your future feels completely uncertain. This was the harsh reality for millions of people during the Great Depression of 1929. It wasn't just a financial crisis, it was a global catastrophe that affected nearly every country in the world. In today's video, we're going to explore what caused the Great Depression, how it unfolded, its devastating effects on society, and the powerful lessons it left behind. Before the crash, the 1920s were known as the Roaring Twenties. It was a decade of rapid industrial growth, rising consumer spending, and a booming stock market, especially in the United States. People believed this prosperity would last forever. Many Americans invested in stocks, often buying on credit, a practice called buying on margin. This meant they borrowed money to invest, expecting prices to just keep rising. But beneath this glittering surface, the economy was dangerously unstable. There was overproduction of goods, wealth was distributed very unequally, the banking system was weak, and everything was propped up by heavy credit. The crisis began in October 1929. On October 24th, known as Black Thursday, stock prices started to fall rapidly. Panic spread as investors scrambled to sell their shares. Just 5 days later, on October 29th, Black Tuesday, the stock market completely collapsed. Millions of shares were sold, and prices crashed beyond recovery. Within weeks, billions of dollars in wealth simply vanished. Banks that had invested heavily in stocks failed, and ordinary people lost their life savings overnight. This crash didn't cause the Great Depression alone, but it triggered a chain reaction that exposed all those deeper economic problems. As fear spread, people rushed to withdraw their money from banks. But the banks didn't have enough cash to meet these demands. Thousands of banks failed between 1930 and 1933. When a bank collapsed, people lost their savings, and businesses lost access to loans, grinding economic activity to a halt. Without credit, businesses closed, and unemployment began to rise dramatically. By 1933, unemployment in the United States reached nearly 25%. That means 1 in 4 workers had no job, families struggled to survive. Many lost their homes, long food lines became common, and makeshift settlements called Hoovervilles appeared across the country. Farmers suffered greatly as crop prices collapsed, and at the same time, severe droughts created the Dust Bowl, forcing thousands of families to migrate in search of work. The Great Depression quickly spread beyond the United States. Because countries were connected through trade and loans, the crisis became global. European economies collapsed, and international trade declined sharply as many countries raised tariffs, which only made the situation worse. In Germany, the economic hardship contributed to political instability and the rise of extremist movements. Across the world, democratic governments struggled to respond effectively. In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt became President of the United States. He introduced a series of programs known as the New Deal. The New Deal aimed to provide jobs through public works, reform the banking system, and support farmers and the unemployed. Programs we still have today, like Social Security and unemployment insurance, were introduced during this time. While the New Deal didn't fully end the Great Depression, it restored hope and stabilized the economy. The Depression finally ended with the start of World War II. The war created massive demand for weapons, supplies, and labor. Factories reopened, unemployment dropped, and economies began to recover. The Great Depression taught the world several critical lessons: the need for strong financial regulations, the importance of government intervention during a crisis, and the value of social safety nets. These lessons continue to shape our modern economic policies. The Great Depression was one of the darkest chapters in economic history, but by understanding this crisis, we gain insight into how economies can fail and how they can recover. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.